Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylla and today I ask you, do you really long for a simple life? When I was stuck in a soulless job in the city, working all hours, being stressed and exhausted all the time, never seeing the sun in the winter because I went to work when it was dark and I got home and it was dark again, I remember dreaming, longing for a simple life. Like a cottage in the countryside and walks in the forest and reading a book by the window when it's raining outside, peace and quiet, wholesome food, the lot. A lot of people can relate to this. Whenever there's a video to this effect or a meme on social media, hundreds of people like it and say, oh yeah, that would be for me. And yet few people actually do it. So I'm wondering, what exactly is the appeal? And so your mission today is to find out how and to what extent you should simplify your life. Task number one is called a minimalist fairy tale. Like most fairy tales, the reality is not as enchanted with this as it may sound at first. People who have taken the leap and moved into the middle of nowhere or gone off the grid report things like being lonely, feeling cut off from people, having no internet, getting older and having nobody to look after them, things like that. So to what extent should you actually do this? And I believe clarity is usually the first step to finding out what you should do and what is actually the right thing for you. So for this task, for this mission altogether, you'll need pen and paper. So get pen and paper or open a Word document or whatever. You can pause this video at any point, but it's important that you write these things down. Trust me on this. And we'll start by write down what appeals to you about this dream. So I'll give you a couple of examples of what appeals to me about this. And this might be the same for you, or it might be other things, but it will get you inspired. It'll get you going to write your own list. It might be more quiet, more nature, fewer people, and the people in your life you'd have more meaningful connections with. That was very important to me. Fewer expectations and less stress and pressure. That was a big thing for me. Might be for you as well. And the next step then, so now you have the things that appeal to you about the simple life. Now the next step is to write down the things that you have to be very honest with yourself here. These are now the things that you wouldn't want to miss from your current life. And again, I'll give you my examples. Decent internet. I will not move anywhere where I can't have decent internet at home. Full stop. I need it for my work as well. Culture. Like concerts, exhibitions. Now I'm not the type that needs to live in the city where all that happens, but I would like to have it at a reasonable distance. So currently I've already downsized my life to a certain extent. By moving to Croatia, I live a lot more quietly now, although I'm still close to a larger town. But I am 2 hours away from Zagreb, which is the capital, and where there's concerts and culture, and where there's also an airport so I can go to other places. That's important for me, that I'm not, let's say, 5-6 hours drive away from anything. Medical care is also important for me. There might be, I'm also getting older, and also there might be an emergency, an accident or something, and I don't want to be in an inaccessible place where no ambulance can get through to me. So that is also something I'd like to be a little bit away from cities, but not too far away that I'm completely inaccessible. So these are, now you have the things written down that you appeal to you and the things that you can't do without from your current life. That is task number one. Task number two is create your own simple life. Now that you've written down these things, you have an outline, you have kind of a framework where you can make your decisions, where you can base your decisions on. Because now you know what you actually want and what you don't want. And when you look at this, it might turn out that you can actually implement a lot of these things that you're dreaming of without actually having to move off the grid somewhere. I've already implemented most of my stuff, although I still think I might do it one day and actually move to the countryside. Watch this space. So the last step now is to create your own simplified life, to find out what you can implement today or this week that would bring you closer to this ideal of the simple life. And once again, I'll give you the steps that I've written down for myself and that I have implemented already or I'm still implementing. You could declutter, become a minimalist, throw out your stuff. It's very cathartic. I love it. I love doing that. You don't need that many clothes and shoes and jewelry and things. Significantly reduce your online time and engagement. I've already spoken about this. Just go offline. Make a point of connecting with the people you love, even the people that are not close to you, and write them messages or emails. Every now and then, it doesn't have to be all the time. Don't stress yourself about that either. But every now and then have a meaningful connection with someone that means a lot to you. And regularly spend time in nature. Now that's a biggie for me. Nature can be so, not just relaxing, it can be balancing. And that is one thing that is very important to myself. So try and spend time in nature at least once a week. Think of concrete steps that you could take to put these things into action. I've outlined a few, but whatever you've written down. So the steps that are important for you. Think of how you could put them into action this week and then go and implement them. And take it from there, week by week. Brings me to task number 3, which is, as usual, let me know. Hit the reply button and tell me what you take away from this video. Are you a city person and you don't relate to this at all? Or are you already living a kind of simple life? Or are you kind of dreaming of it? And if so, what are you going to do about it? I'll reply to every email, I promise. If you didn't get the link to this video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in that little form there. You'll get 1 email per week, so it's 100% spam free. You'll get extra information and articles, recommendations of books and other resources, and sometimes you get exclusive offers that are only for my subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up, or you can Google Wild Spirits Coaching, that'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.